And we are live. Hello everyone. How are you doing? Can everyone hear me fine? Also, let's see here. We had a couple of audio issues last time. So let's test it out. Can you guys hear Alvaro and Marcia fine? If you guys could say hello. Alvaro and Marcia.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
Marcia?
Marcia?
Hi, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's see if chat can hear. Yeah, apparently everyone's hearing us loud and clear. So hello everyone. We are live with the full review of our Fear to Eternal Embrace Sci-Fi bundle. Yeah, everyone's hearing us fine. So, how are you guys doing? For those who don't know me, I'm Tiago. I'm Lit Studios Community Manager, and I'm gonna be presenting every single miniature of this bundle to you guys. With me, I have Alvaro, our art director, and I also have Marcia, our resident painter. They already said hi, but if you guys could say hi again.
Hey guys, so today I'll be sculpting something really cool while Tiago shows you all the miniatures. And I decided to sculpt like a sci-fi grenade. And let's see how it will look at the end. And if it looks cool, maybe we can share this file with you to print it in life size so you have a prop at home.
Yeah, that sounds
Marcia?
That sounds great. Marcia?
My turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Guys, I will be painting this Infantrobot. I don't know how to say. And we will explain why I started before the live. It's because I will use this absolute shipping to give you an effect, to create an effect of damage. So I had to paint the first layer, wait for it to dry about 30 minutes, and then I applied this. Now I will continue the painting.
Yes. So this time around, we have a camera view that is just Marcia, and another one that's just Alvaro. So I'll be switching between those two, so you guys can get a better look at what Marcia and Alvaro are doing between the miniatures of the bundle. Okay. So to start off, let's start with the first hero of the bundle, and this one it's gotta be one of my personal favorite miniatures that we ever did. It is Flint Tungstenzuka, or Dwarf Soldier. So a lot of you guys play games like Starfinder, right? Where it's sci-fi, but it has that nice bit of fantasy mixed in, a little bit of those fantasy tropes upgraded, and Flint fits right into it. It's a space dwarf, yeah. What's not to love about a space dwarf? And yeah, and the art in this bundle, and correct me if I'm wrong, Albert. This one was Alberto Saraiva, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So every single piece of concept art for this bundle was done by Alberto Saraiva. And yeah, I think he really captured here what it's like the heavy armored, heavy weaponed dwarf. And this is a huge weapon. It looks even bigger in the actual miniature. And here it is, the miniature. Sculpted by Victor Prado. So Flint is a space dwarf. And you guys all know what dwarves are about, right? They are about resilience and stubbornness, right? And they are the guys that pack a punch and they can take a punch. And Flint especially, and I'm gonna turn around here, if I could swing back to the bus here. I think we're gonna be able to see a lot of detail. He has this huge plasma cannon that it has to be connected to the backpack here, right? He needs to draw the power for this weapon from somewhere. And the backpack, here, it's almost as big as Flint himself. And you can just see how, Flint is he's a big boy. He's a bulky boy. Definitely swole, not ripped, right? Yeah, this is Flint Tungstenzuka. What do you guys think of him? Yeah, he definitely works out. He definitely doesn't miss a day of work. So in the lore that Gribbo, Lucas Gribbo, or Resident Lore Master, created for our space dwarfs, Flint's family, the Tungstenzukas, to use this weapon just gives off so much radiation and so much heat that you need to expose yourself to incrementing levels of radiation and just build up an immunity, right? What happens if you don't build up an immunity over time and maybe you're not that resistant? Well, let's just say the Tungstenzukas are all for survival of the fittest, right? So if you didn't make it to the radiation exposure training, sucks to be you, I guess. Yeah, so this is Flint. And I think he really translates really well. Both the concept art and the sculpt translate really well the feeling of playing a classic dwarf to a more sci-fi futuristic setting, right? The dwarves are all about crafting and just big weapons, at least like the classic dwarves, right? It's all about the great hammers and the great axes, and it just packs a wallop. This gun in particular, you don't want to be in the business end of this gun. And of course, for him we have the 32mm version here. Let me just point it out. The 72mm version on the back there. And the bust version. And it's kind of funny, we use the 75 and the bust versions to showcase the miniatures. They just show better on camera for the live stream. So the 32mm version looks so tiny in comparison, but if you zoom in on it, you can still see an incredible amount of detail into. Let's focus here. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. You can still see the same incredible amount of detail in the 32mm version of the miniature. Yeah, he's ready to start firing this blaster. So yeah, an amazing sculpt by Victor Prado. So moving on, let's change things around here. Let's just make sure. Yes. So moving on to our next hero, and this one I gotta tell. Me and Gribbo, we really need to have a conversation. He comes up with the names for the bundle. Sometimes we're like, that doesn't sound right. We could maybe do better. But this name. The names of some of our heroes on paper look really cool, and then when I gotta say it during the live stream, I'm like, okay, how the hell do I say this? And this is one of them. And this is another favorite of mine. This bundle has some really cool miniatures. This is the Vermilion, Cachela Buckaroo. And if you've been with us for a while, or if you've subscribed to any of the sci-fi bundles, you remember a guy similar to this one from our welcome pack, our sci-fi Cantina welcome pack. So it's a Vermilion, and this one is a 4-armed Vermilion. They're not as common. We're at some point in the future, maybe we'll do the more common version of the Vermilion, which is the two-armed version. But yeah, a lot of people seem to really like this guy. When we a lot of people seem to really like the mammalian concept, and we're gonna try to, as we introduce new characters and new species, we're gonna try to bring them back once in a while, right? Really create a universe and create some variety into miniatures, so you guys can maybe over a couple of bundles you have a set of heroes of a particular species. So this guy means business. He lost. I'm not gonna be able to point it out here, but his upper right arm, he lost it in a little bit of a confusion on Earth. You can get more details by reading his background story in the magazine, this month's magazine. But yeah, let's take a look at the sculpt of Cachela Buckaroo. A sculpt by UDL Menges. So here we have him, and let me just turn the bus around a little bit so you guys can see the beautiful crest. He reminds me a little bit of Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy, specifically like the comic books version. But yeah, like that crest, it's both a sign of a racial sign of like this guy is different, this guy is stronger, but it's also and it's a sign of like maybe it's a sign of royalty in your world. But it's also a really good stand-in for Mohawk, right? So yeah, Cachela really gives us that space punk feel, right? That space pirate feel, maybe a true mercenary. And you notice here that the bust has a little bit of a different arm positioning than the actual miniature, the 75 or the 32mm miniature. So it's a little bit different. Alvaro, can you enlighten us on why that is?
Yeah, so we changed the bust style a few months ago, right? People who has been with us since the beginning were more used to bigger busts, but without arms. But we decided this new style where we can show more action, more the personality of each character. And this is something that we are trying to do to change the pose sometimes. So in this case, we thought, well, so why not change the arms pose a little, so the bust can look even like better. So we decided to do this, and you will notice this in other characters as well. Sometimes the full character pose doesn't work really well as a bust. So this is something we are trying, and I hope you like this change.
Yeah, so this is something we're trying out. Once in a while, when you transfer like the three-quarters bust into like the actual bust size, and you take a look at it, like the pose works really well for the 75 and the 32mm, but maybe we could change it a little bit for the bust, and we're gonna try that out. See how you guys like it, because the bust, it's almost like a piece of art in and of itself, right? And it has a different purpose as well. So just going back to the miniature here. Again, this is one of those miniatures that I think you guys are gonna have a blast painting. It has a lot of potential here for different textures. There's cloth, there's the armor here, which can be it can be metal, or it can be like Kevlar or something. There's lots and lots of metal, and including the robotic arm here, right? The guns, the skin tones. I think a lot of people are gonna go for that like bluish Yondu look, that blue and red feel, right? But yeah, the jacket is here in the bust it looks more like a jacket. On the 75 millimeter here, you can see it's more like a duster, right? And it just doesn't have the, like he cut off the sleeve, or maybe the sleeve was cut off along with his arm, and he just kept the duster. Like it's a really, really nice duster. Like you don't throw it out just because your metal arm is gonna be chilly, right? Yeah, I love his facial expression as well. Uriel just really nailed on that one. Just that slight hint of a smirk. That's what a mercenary should look like, right? Han Solo type. Okay, so next up we have our third and last hero for this bundle. And this one is Megara Anastasia, the elf solar monk. And let's set things up here. So with Megara, she's a little bit like Flint, in that we're trying to translate a little bit of that Starfinder feel, right? Bring a little bit of fantasy into sci-fi, and really up the stakes and make it feel like actual sci-fi, right? And this is a Megara. She's an elf solar monk, and like I'm sure you guys noticed, she's gonna be like a great stand-in for a Jedi character with that bow staff of hers. You can go a couple of different ways with it, as I'm gonna show into the miniature in a moment. You can say that's like that's an energy weapon, or depending on how you print it, you can say it's the blades on the staff are made of crystal. You can do a lot of different things with her, and that's why I love her. I think she's especially. Let me just turn things around here a little bit. Ooh, I'm gonna show you the miniature now, and I think she turned out amazing. Here we go. So this is Megara. Yeah, and this name is not entirely Gurbel's fault. I had a little bit of input. She had a different first name before. But again, I didn't really stop to think how I should pronounce her name. But that's really up to you guys. So she has her solar staff here, right? And as I was saying, you can use the tips of her staff like that are a bit spear-like, right? Maybe. You can use it as something like crystal, or you can use it as some kind of energy weapon, and you can use her as a stand-in for your Jedi character. There's especially when you bring things up to the future and sci-fi. Even though technology has progressed so far and has evolved so much, there's always going to be like either religious factions or monks of some sort of spiritual faction or ideology, and Megara is one of those things. She has some beautifully designed armor sculpted by Robson Barros. Let me get the 75 millimeter a little bit closer here, so we can take a look at her action pose. Let me turn things away here. Yeah, Megara she's just leaping into combat. I would say she's leaping into combat to defend someone, but if you want to say she's leaping into combat to kick some ass, that's up to you, man. Yeah, she's she's gonna make a great Jedi in someone's campaign. I can see it already. Maybe one of the what are the Jedi guards called, the temple guards that have their faces covered. Who she would work really well as one of those. The ones with the, I think it's yellow lightsaber, something like that. So yeah, this is Meg Aure Anastasia. She's our elf solar monk for this bundle. And this is our second to last bust as well. And if you could just close up on her expression, right? Yeah, here we go. And again, we make those suggestions like we call her an elf, but in your game you can use her as anything. Sci-Fi is filled with humanoid races that are like just a little bit different from human. Star Wars and Star Trek are riddled with those. Star Trek especially has a bunch of alien races that are just, you know, humans with something different in their forehead or the ears. So you can definitely play an alien with her as well. Yeah, maybe she'll work. People are saying she looks super cyberpunk. Maybe she'll work as your street samurai in what's the name of the game now? Shadowrun. Yeah, so a lot of versatility with Megara here. So she's our last hero, and next up, of course, we have the boss, the villain, the main villain of this bundle. We have Overlord Cassius, and ooh, this one is a doozy. Let me get everything into focus here. So he's your classic, like, really, really evil bad guy. If you guys, he's got a little bit of that lich feel, like the tech lich feel that we had in our first bundle. But Overlord Cassius takes everything to like another level. He has found a way to extend his lifespan by a combination of replacing body parts with mechanical ones, implanting and like just straight up stealing the life force of his enemies, and he just he mostly keeps to himself, except when he has like kill a couple hundred people every 10 years or something. Like, that's nothing, right? In an age of intergalactic exploration. But then our heroes had to meddle in his business. They actually had to go to his house, to his secret base, to mess with him. Like, why did they have to do that? So I'm gonna jump over to the actual mini now, which is unsculpted by Victor Prado. And here we have him. Here we have Overlord Cassius. And I really want to showcase this, the bust, because it's from like the waist up. It really emphasizes like how regal he is, how he views himself, right, as the master of this little kingdom he has built. But you can see like his immortality has come with a cost, even in the bust, right? And he has a lot of techno-organic implants, and he just looks a little bit emaciated, right? He is alive, but he doesn't look as alive as a living person should, right? But what I really want to showcase on this one, and this is really, really cool, it's I think it's gonna show up better in the 75mm version. And here, let us change things around here a little bit and bring the 75mm forward here, so I can turn him around, and you can see like all the different tentacles that make up for his legs, and the way it was built and sculpted, you can actually see like the illusion of the floating throne that he's in, right? So for the sci-fi bundles, we are really taking that up a notch, creating the illusion of weightlessness, and we did that a little bit with the sci-fi bundles, like with the see-through miniatures. We did a couple of them. There was the Pied Piper a couple of months ago, and even further back we had the living armor. But there's always like the opportunities, especially with the sci-fi bundles, when you're going to space, of doing like this more subtle effects, but that really bring out the best on the feel of the miniature. So once in a while, you're gonna see a miniature that we make look like it's not as heavy as it should be, or it's just sitting on a throne that is floating in mid-air. And Overlord Cassius is that. So yeah, the sci-fi bundles really allow us to explore into that area and expand a little bit. You may notice as well, like right here behind his throne, there's the symbol, which is the symbol we use for this bundle. The symbol or variations of it show up in a couple of other miniatures, just to mark this guy as the boss of the bundle and as the guy responsible for all the terrible things that are happening in it. So yeah, this is Overlord Cassius. And next up, we actually have a series of miniatures. We have the robots. I'm gonna change here to the next one, and we have a series of them, right? And I'm gonna talk about the concept art a little bit first, and then I'm gonna go into the miniatures. This is the Infantrobot. He's the infantry robot, and it's the one Marcia is painting right now. Let me just give you guys a little bit of a better view of what Marcia is doing. And the Infantrobot is a sculpt by Lailson Camini. And yeah, he's the infiltrator. He's like this guy is the guy that your heroes would be facing, like a little squadron of these guys, a little troop, right? They are not as let me go back to the concepts here. They are not as big or as intimidating as a couple of the other robots I'm gonna show to you guys, but they are definitely more versatile. So they don't have like built-in weapons, but they can pick up any weapon on the battlefield and use it. Like, they are made for that. You can also, of course, use him as a character if you want to have a droid or a robot character. You can use him as well. Let me just get things here. The next one I'm gonna show you. You guys are gonna keep seeing the robot here, the Infantrobot here. So that's why I'm talking really fast about him. The next one I'm gonna show you guys is the Caval robot. So this one is kind of like it's a bit of a heavy hitter. It's a tank on legs. So the rough terrain of the asteroid where the Overlord Cassius builds his base is too rough even for tank treads. So what do? You strap a bunch of rockets and a mini nuke to a thing like this, a little four-legged drone. And you can see it here in all its glory in a sculpt by Diogo Colares. And this thing actually has a mini nuke, you guys. You can only use it once a day, and then it has to like recharge it. But I don't know, it a pretty devastating attack. Like, you do not want to be anywhere near a mini nuke going off. But yeah, let me just turn him around here. He's like a little tank on legs instead of treads. Really versatile. It reminds me a little bit of those. The legs disposition here reminds me a little bit of those the creepy robots by Boston Dynamics, right? Yeah. I'm just looking at chat here, seeing sometimes you guys just say some stuff that's really funny and it cracks me up and it breaks my concentration, but please don't stop doing it. I love it. So yeah, so the Caval robot, it's the cavalry robot. It's the support unit that is gonna hit your heroes, or is gonna hit the invading troops from really, really far with really, really devastating damage and devastating effects. And you can see here all the gun ports that are built into him, and he would just be a nasty enemy to fight. Really, really heavily armored, a tank on legs, as I said before. And yeah, even the 32mm version is really big. If we could get one of the 32mm heroes, just so we can get a size comparison here. Yeah, you do not want to face this. It's about horse-sized. Yeah. You do not want to, like, it doesn't technically have a way to attack on melee, but you don't also want to get into melee with this thing. You can just, it's just your DM is just going to make it self-destruct and take you with it. It's just going to, like, nuke itself. It's not going to be fun. And last up, but definitely not least, we have the Terminator robot. Yeah, a lot of people have been really, really excited for this one. I'm really, really excited for this one as well. It's because this is a big guy, a really, really big guy. Now let me just not spoil you guys here yet. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have to adjust the camera here just because of how big this guy is. Yeah, and definitely bring us a 75mm hero, just so we can showcase how big this guy is. Yeah, this guy, we're just gonna have to show it. There's nothing much to say. I'm just gonna show it. This sculpt by Victor Prado again. So this is the 32mm version of the Terminator robot, with the big chainsaw and the missile launchers here, and his big assault rifle that is one weapon with the. It's a little bit Gears of War, but yeah, this is just nasty. And this is the 75mm hero next to the 32mm version of the Terminator robot. When we say Terminator robot, we mean it, because this is the 75mm version of the Terminator robot next to the 75 of one of the heroes. So yeah, this guy is really, really big, and you do not want to get hit by this. Like, this weapon, like, it will definitely rip you apart, but this weapon wasn't designed to, like, go into people. It was designed to go to, like, tank treads and the exoskeleton of really tough aliens, and, like, it will cut through flesh like it's paper. And just here you can see the let's turn him around, show a little bit more detail on him, like his face and his face plate with the optical sensors here. Again, just really, really heavily armored. Yeah, probably ablative armor. And you know, definitely give him some extra abilities. He exists. I was gonna say he lives, but you know, he exists in on the lore we created. He is on an asteroid with really, really reduced gravity. So really, really low gravity. So that's why you see, like, I'm gonna show a little later, a creature that is it would be too big to exist in another environment. And the Terminator robot definitely takes advantage that he doesn't weight as much on this environment, so he can be a little bit more agile, a little bit faster to respond to threats. Yeah. So yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful, intimidating sculpt by I just forgot who it was. I think it was Victor Prado again. Yeah, it was Victor Prado. And yeah, and this one is one of those miniatures that, like, just this one, you guys gotta be like, ooh, I gotta get that bundle just for that one mini. There's a lot of minis like that in this bundle. The heroes, absolutely. This one, absolutely. Like the big weapon here, the big assault rifle with the chainsaw. What should we call it? It's not a chainsaw. It's like a rip saw. It's just gonna take things apart. It's not as much as cut them as unexist them. Let's say. Okay, that's it for the robots. Let's move on to some of the other characters in this bundle. And next up, we have the Prime Marine. And the Prime Marine, it's a lot of the next characters I'm going to show to you are either created or corrupted and mutated by Overlord Cassius. But the Prime Marines, they kind of gave themselves into it. They kind of made a deal with the devil in search of immortality and power, right? Yeah, so they kind of gave themselves willingly. They give part of their life energy to Overlord Cassius, and in return they gain this armor that amplifies them and keeps them keeps their bodies functioning, and it also gives them like electrical powers. So they are not the kind of creatures you want to have to deal with. They also have like their mental capabilities intact. So they can be tricky to deal with because they are actually fairly intelligent. And here is the sculpt in 32 and 75mm by Uriel Mendes. And you can just see here, again, we're using the electricity effects on the base here to give the impression that this guy is floating. He can levitate and fly around. Like it's electrostatic levitation, right? I like a little bit like who I love that cartoon growing up, Static Shock. Yeah, so that's how he flies himself around. Like he uses electricity to levitate his armor and himself with it. But his like his skin is gone, and he's just his body is just one of the armor now. It's just one giant piece of. It's just one giant weapon that is gonna serve Overlord Cassius. And yeah, I don't know if that's a deal I would make. Like, whew. I'm not gonna say like the ripping your own face off, or like ripping the skin off of your face. Really does look super cool, but I don't know if I could live without a beard. So, I don't know if I would do it. So you can see here, like, again, in this mini, there's a lot of different and interesting textures that you guys are going to be able to work with while painting. Of course, there's metal, there's the electricity effects, but there's also like the exposed flesh, right? And you can treat it as part of the armor, or you can treat it as his actual flesh that has been brought out, right? And there's a lot of scar tissues here, probably like electrical burns. These guys are in constant pain. Existence is pain, as who said that in Rick and Morty? It was one of the Rick and Morty characters. I don't remember now. So yeah, this is the Prime Marine. Let's see who we have next. Ooh, next we have a really cool one, actually. Let me just bring him up here. Next up, we have the Tattered Trooper. And let me just get... And this one is interesting. We've been doing a little bit of exploration with different... with a little bit of variation, like character variation, right? Taking a character or an enemy and doing some variation, maybe doing a couple different versions of the same character, maybe doing a couple of different poses. And that's what we did for the Tattered Trooper. So in this Sculpts by Victor Prado, and yes, we have more than one. We have two different poses and actually two different bases for the Tattered Trooper. So yeah, these are just the cannon fodder. They are kind of they're a little bit like zombies with guns. They are just kept together by the cosmical energies that Overlord Cassius controls, and he siphons it out of people, and then he can transform it into other kinds of energies and just keep those bodies together and working for him. So yeah, they don't have the same mental capabilities as the Tattered Troopers, but they you throw like there's a lot of corpses don't decay as fast in space, so there's just a lot of them laying around, especially when you're like an evil overlord just killing a bunch of people and storing them in the vacuum of space. But yeah, and here we have a couple of different poses for the hero, for these characters, and a couple of different bases as well. And it's a really interesting detail here. We have a lot of different alien skulls here, creatures that have been killed in the asteroid. And yeah, maybe we'll take inspiration from those skulls down there and do a couple new alien races in the future. But yeah, just a lot of equipment, a lot of like just untiring soldiers, which are really, really useful if you're an evil overlord that is trying to stay out of people's radars. But yeah, this is the Tattered Trooper. As I said, is sculpted by Victor Prado. Both the sculpts. Yeah, let's move on to the next one now. We're actually making like pretty good time today. But yeah, we still have a lot of things to go through, especially into scenery objects department. So yeah, so the next one we have is the Timorous Knight. And the tumorous night, they are again results from experiments of Overlord Cassius to extend his own life. And with the tumorous night, he was testing regenerative properties of a bunch of different compounds. And with this guy, he may have gone a little bit too far. This guy can, as long as he's not taken out entirely, he can come back from basically any injury. So yeah, he has the regenerate ability, but his regeneration goes a little awry, and a lot of tumorous nodes and bones and flesh just keep growing out of him. And you know, Overlord Cassius is not one to waste a good source of meat, let's say. So he puts this guy to work as well. A lot of the characters in this bundle are just his experiments that he has repurposed, right? Partially successful, to not say failed experiments. So here we have the Sculpt by João Comaceto. You can just see the bones and flesh and tumors and bulbs just growing out of this guy on the arm here. The tattered clothes. Like, yeah. You take a look at this guy and you just know that he is gonna, when you hit him and he actually dies, he's gonna pop, and not in like a bubble wrap or a soap bubble kind of fun way pop, right? He's gonna pop like a pustule. Yeah, it's not gonna be fun. Let me just turn him around here and just showcase. And yeah, like this guy's armor is his own overgrown tumors, like the bones, his bones coming out of him. And I had to do bone surgery once. And I gotta tell you guys, bone pain is one of the worst pains you can feel. And guys like this, they get the short end of the stick. I had my reservation about being a Prime Marine before, but I think I'd rather be a Prime Marine than a tumorous knight. So yeah, here we have the tumorous knight, and yeah, let's see what we have next here. Speaking of gross abominations, let's talk a little bit about the Enduring Mismatched. So the Enduring Mismatched is a bit of one of those Frankensteinian experiments by Overlord Cassius, right? So he is actually Overlord Cassius came to the conclusion that, okay, maybe I'll need transplants for a couple of different species. And there was actually a species in Star Trek, I believe it was Star Trek Voyager. Don't remember the name of the species, but it was the guys that they had a phage, a plague, a disease that slowly consumed them. So they kidnapped a lot of aliens, and just a lot of compatible aliens, and just harvested their organs and just transplanted them into themselves and just kept on living. Overlord Cassius considered the idea for a while, and that was part of those experiments, the Enduring Mismatched. So he's just a bunch of different aliens stitched together, and the body was made to work. And he was testing, like, okay, what do I have to do? He was testing he's a real scientist, Overlord Cassius. And yeah, here we can see this horrible Frankenstein monster that is the Enduring Mismatched. In all its glory, it is sculpted by João Comaceto. And yeah, just you gotta feel sorry for Frankenstein's monster, right? But like Frankenstein's monster actually had it good, right? He had what did he have? Like a little bit of an existential crisis. His dad didn't like him. Like, man, look at this. You had it good, and you didn't even know it. And yeah, and actually, yeah. Oh Jesus! When the light hit it, I thought it was. I thought I had seen a detail that wasn't actually there. Ooh. This one actually makes my stomach turn a little bit. Like, this creature is just suffering and in constant pain. And like, why, right? It's like both of the heads must be asking themselves why. And with just the bits of machinery sticking out of it just to keep the organs going or to replace failing organs. Yeah, the sensory experience for this creature, again, much like the Tomorrow's Night before, must not be a good one. So yeah, it's one of those creatures that if your party is just a bunch of murder hobos or like space murder hobos, space mercenaries, like shoot first, ask questions later. Like, this is the kind of creature you throw in front of them and they can kill it without remorse because, yeah, they would be doing it a favor. So yeah, this is the Enduring Mismatched. Yeah, people are commenting on chat. The Star Trek race was the Vidians, and they had the Phage. Yeah, so that's a very Star Trek thing, right? So next up we have the Metatrophita, another one of those difficult names, or as we lovingly came to call it here at Loot during the developing process and during our time of it, the giant flea. And it's just kind of cute. This is one of those. I believe this is not one of the Overlord Cast's creations. It's just a creature that has evolved to live in this kind of space environment, right? It can maybe be used as a mount for one of your characters, like to be able to traverse space or traverse some vacuum scenarios, right? But it's both a bit terrifying and a bit cute. It's just a space life form, a strange space life form. And let me see here. I don't think do you have the 32mm as well? No, the 30mm of the Metatrophita. And let me show it to you guys, the giant flea. Let's see here. Oh, it's here. It's right here. It was in front of me the whole time, folks. If it was a spider, it would have bitten me, as we like to say here. So this is the Metatrophita in a beautiful sculpt by Daniel Sanchez. And yeah, it has that. I think the concept art is a little bit more endearing, maybe because it doesn't have as many spikes, and the teeth aren't quite as sharp and quite out there in the mouth. So yeah, but here it is, and this is one of those creatures, right? And could zoom out a little bit. With this one, we really showcase that idea of a lower gravity environment, right? This thing, so because this thing has such thin legs compared to the body size, you kind of and because of the way the sculpt flows, right? The position of the legs and the position of the trunks. Those are actually trunks. It has two of them, which is terrifying. Thinking that thing can whip one of those things around and hit you. So yeah, it really gives that idea of not low mass but low weight environment, right? There are a couple of documentaries, like sci-fi documentaries, where you can actually see the where people speculate on what life forms on planets with different different gravity would look like, right? And one of the things that happens in environments with very, very low gravity is that a lot of things get very, very tall and very, very thin. But don't mistake the thin legs for fragile legs. They can actually do like a lot of piercing damage. So yeah, you don't want to be stomped by one of these. It's like being stomped on by an elephant, but it's like being stomped on by an elephant wearing high heels. It's not a fun experience. Not that I would know. I've never been stomped by an elephant before. So yeah, this is the Metartrophyta on its lovely sculpt by Daniel Sanchez. And actually we have a 32 millimeter version here, miniature here, just to give you guys a sense of scale. Yeah, especially a dwarf would definitely have to shoot up in order to do any damage to one of these things. And even then, man, it's a thick hide. So yeah, this is the Metartrophyta, or the giant flea, as we like to call it here at Loot. So yeah, and next up, and we have the last set of creatures for this bundle, and we're actually going a bit fast today, which is nice. It's going to give us time to talk about a lot of things, and then we have a couple of surprises for you at the end, a couple of sneak peeks at things to come. So yeah.
Tiago, I'm actually using a needle. Marcia is using a needle to correct the robot, to damage the robot.
Oh yeah. Marcia, would you like to I'm gonna transition into your painting process now. You had mentioned before that you were gonna do the damaged effect. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing now? Marcia, we can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So before, after I applied this product over first layer of paint, I applied the second layer. Here, for example, I applied white over the black, and then I applied again this product to make this effect. You can use just the brush to rubbing. I don't know.
To rub it.
To rub it, or needle, or anything to make stretch.
Scratches, right?
Yeah. So just scratching it up, giving it a little bit more of a rugged feel, right? Like it's been through a lot. It's been through a couple of battles, right? It's seen some action. This robot, right? let's enjoy you painting it a little bit more as we set things up here, and we're gonna go through a couple of different minis at the same time. But next up, the first one we're gonna talk about is it's actually like a set of creatures, right? So yeah, we have the. Let me show you guys the concept first before I spoil the fun of the miniatures. So first up, we have the adult Diverger. So what's a Diverger? A Diverger is a little bit like a sliver in Magic the Gathering, right? So yeah, it's something that it's capable of. Is a creature capable of adapting and developing new features as the environment requires. We'll leave it in the lore a little bit like up to you guys. If it was, if this is a naturally occurring creature, or if it was created by another ancient race, maybe Overlord Cassius messed with them a little bit. But yeah, they can develop whatever tools they need for the job at hand, right? Yeah, so this is a little bit of an alien creature that you could set against your players, and we have a couple of different versions of it as well. So for the Diverger, we also have the Juvenile Diverger. And for the Juvenile, we have two versions of him. Like, you guys are always asking us for more versions and different versions of the creatures. So you can use the Juvenile versions as different forms into the life cycle and evolution of the adult version, right? So yeah. Let's see the sculpts, and the sculpts are actually the adult Diverger sculpt. It's sculpted by Daniel Sanchez, the same one that sculpted the Metatropta, the previous miniature. And the Juvenile Divergers, both of them, were sculpted by Laiuson Camini. So let's focus a little bit first on the adult Diverger. So yeah. This is a creature that is, again, adapted to life in this asteroid. Yeah, real Zerg vibes. People are commenting in chat. They have grown up and thus evolved and adapted to life in this like really low gravity, rocky environment, with a lot of creatures that probably don't want them there, like Overlord Cassius and his minions, right, his robots. And they gotta bring the ones that actually survive, evolve weapons that, you know, can give them a fighting chance against those creatures. So, yeah, the bladed sides here, like this just the adult Diverger is just the stuff of nightmares, right? You can kind of see it here, and I'm gonna turn the miniature around a little bit. You can see like the tentacles that form a part of its base, like just flow into the creature, and just really give this idea that the creature is kind of coiling up to strike, like a Naja or something. Yeah, you do not want to see one of these at night. You do not want to fight one of these at all. And who knows if the asteroid where you're gonna fight them even has a day-night cycle. It may just be pure darkness, and you're having to face these things with nothing but those little really ineffective lanterns that they have in sci-fi movies, right? Those things that illuminate about, 15 feet in front of you and not very well. That's all you have. And then like on the very edge of that, one of these creatures shows up with its big, ugly face. So yeah, a really, really creepy sculpt by Daniel Sanchez. And of course, we have the juvenile divergers. So the juvenile divergers are a little bit different. They don't have the, let's bring them up here. They were sculpted by Lailson Camini. We have two versions of them. It's just a little bit different positions, flying a little bit differently, and like ready to strike in different ways. And in both of those, the artists were really able to showcase that, like, that flighty feel, like these creatures are either have just taken off flight or are just landing. You know, like they are, despite they are connected to base, but it's almost like they're not. There's just like this feel about them, especially this one, I think. The one on the right, like right above me right now. It really gives that idea that we were talking about earlier of the floating creatures and of the low gravity. And yeah, just amazing. And as even if they are the juvenile forms of the adult diverger, like, you still don't want to face them, because you're probably gonna face like multiple of them. You're probably they have, I believe they actually have pack tactics. So the idea is that like 4 or 5 or 6 of those things attack you and your party, and yeah, it's not gonna be a fun fight. So yeah, they are dangerous in the same way that they are to I think the juvenile divergers are to the adult diverger what aliens are to the alien queen, right? Yeah, they are dangerous enough. You don't want to face even one of them. Yeah, so that's it for the creatures of this bundle, guys. But we are not done yet. Not by a long shot. We still have some really cool stuff to show to you guys. So next up we have the objects. And we're gonna do this in 2 sets here. So first up we're gonna do let me grab things here and move things around a little bit. And as my friends here help me set it up, here's the thing about the objects of this bundle. We have a rover, we have a base, we have 2 different sets of turrets, we have crates, and we have storage tanks. But we also have like more natural terrain environments. So a crater, like this alien, like demonic or alien artifact. We have 2 different sets of 2 different precious rocks, right? So it has a lot. This bundle has a lot of scenery objects that that will really help you like develop and complement your own sci-fi base. And yeah, as we set things up here, I just want to mention the following. When Loot started, and Alvaro can probably tell the story better than me, but I'm gonna give it my best shot here, Alvaro. So when Loot started, I think it wasn't part of the original plan to have objects or scenery objects, right? And then a couple objects were added, and people really liked it. And just as we do with the rest of the bundle, right? With the heroes, and then we added the busts, and then we added the magazine, and we grew that part. We also grew and improved our offering of terrain objects. So we've come a long way, and we've learned a lot. And yeah, you guys, I don't want to get too much into it, but you guys can expect some pretty cool stuff in the future. We realize now that a lot of you guys really like the terrain objects. In a couple of the polls for the latest bundles that we did, the objects are always like really high up there in the stuff people are the most excited about. So that I think that's that kind of feedback is really important to us. And yeah, we are listening to you guys, and you can expect more and more like this. Ooh, let me just put just a little bit of a detail here. Yeah, so let's actually showcase the objects now. So for the terrain objects, we have the big crater here, which the maybe the barbarian in your party just was really angry at the ground, right? And just did felt that whew, I was about to swear there, almost. So yeah, this is a big crater, always useful for both sci-fi and fantasy terrain, right? And this is still 32 millimeter scale as all of our terrain, right? But even so, it's a pretty big crater. And as for terrain as well, we have we have a set of crystals or stalagmites here. That's right? Stalagmites, stalactites. Yeah, maybe something that can be found in a cave, a long lost cave inside the asteroid or something. We have the crystals here that can be used as they're a little bit based on bismuth crystals, so you can check that out. Bismuth is a metal that forms the crystals similar to that into those geometrical kind of fractal patterns, and it looks really beautiful, kind of multicolored. We have the and I gotta remember what we call it, the demonic artifact, and you can use it as which is this one, and you can use it as an alien artifact, a little bit like Dead Space's marker, right? Something that is there, like just technology of an ancient civilization that you probably shouldn't mess with. And I just really want to point out, like when you look at it like straight ahead like this, it really looks like it's just floating in midair, right? I think the artist Anderson Pioli really nailed that illusion there. So all the more power to him for that one. So yeah, and as I forgot to mention, all of the objects were sculpted by Anderson Pioli. And we have a couple of 32 millimeter miniatures here for a comparison. So we have a heavy turret here, right? And just really nasty stuff. It's gonna pump you full. It's gonna pump your ship full of bullets on approach. But we also have the it's this turret actually comes off of the ground. And we also have a plasma turret on the other side here. And this one's a big boy. This one, it's it's to completely annihilate ships before they get anywhere near the asteroid. Or maybe they can actually be used to keep other asteroids and other space debris and rock from ever touching ground. Kind of a first defense system. And we have also before we get into the rover here, we have these storage tanks here. Let me turn them around a little bit. we have the storage tanks here, and yeah, this can contain anything. This guys can contain whatever fleshy bits remain from Cassius's experiments. They can contain Joker toxin. I don't know. They can contain like whatever you want them to. And yeah, and finally we have the rover. We have our land vehicle. So last time we did for Saurian native diplomacy we did the spaceship, right? And this time we have this rover. A couple of people and yeah, entry through the right side. So yeah, it's a little bit of a lunar lander, right? Or a lunar rover. It's a module that your heroes can use to traverse very, very difficult terrain. It is definitely an all-terrain kind of vehicle. A couple of people have asked this before if the wheels are actually functional. They are not on this one. We have glued them in, but you can certainly make them so. So yeah, they are definitely, they come as separate parts from the vehicle, and you can make them functional if you want to. Yeah, I think the threads on the tires I really like as well. They remind me a little bit of the, I don't remember if it was NASA or it was Airbus or someone. Yeah, there we go. Someone was developing like this airless tires, right? Specifically for situations like a moon landing or a Mars landing, which are places where you can't really find your friendly neighborhood mechanic around to change your tire. So yes, airless tires are maybe the future. So yeah, we're not always gonna do vehicles on every single bundle, but it's something that we are currently doing, and it's, yeah, apparently you guys like it. So, and if you guys like it, tell us that. Just tell us in the comments and tell us in chat, and send us messages, and we are always listening to you guys on the community. So yeah, as for more vehicles, and I'm sure Alvaro is gonna be like, yeah, we gotta do more vehicles now. And of course, and one of the coolest pieces in the objects, we have the base, and it's really cool. It's gonna be absolutely lovely for dioramas. It's this little habitat which you can remove the geodesic dome, and you can actually see inside, and there are actually a couple of scenery objects inside here. A couple of control panels, air ducts. So yeah, you can set this up as a little base, or as your your Sci-Fi Leomann's tiny hut. Maybe that's what it looks like. Maybe it's one of those capsules from Dragon Ball, right? From Capsule Corp, and that's how you use that spell in Sci-Fi. It's just a compressed, dehydrated structure that you just press a button and throw it, and just Capsule Corp or does its magic, and a full habitat for you to live in, for you to weather out the night. Yeah, I'm just looking at what Alvaro is sculpting here, and I had to stop and think for a bit. Let me transition here to what Alvaro is doing. He's doing this grenade, and isn't there something about like some law somewhere about doing 3D printable weapons? Who maybe we should be careful with this, Alvaro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a weapon. It's just a cool prop.
Yeah, it's just a cool
Won't
prop.
explode.
Yeah. Yeah, like please guys don't use this design to make like a lot of you guys are really creative, and you take our miniatures and you blow them up to like real size. We've seen a couple of them, and you do like this really cool stuff with our miniatures. But for this one, please don't make like a real life grenade, even if it's just like a paintball grenade or something. Loot Studios takes no responsibility for what you guys decide to do with our miniatures, beside printing and playing with them. So, yeah. So guys, this is it for this bundle. Fear to Return or Embrace, but we're not done yet. I'm gonna tell you guys why in a second. These are the miniatures for this bundle. You have seen them all, and I am sure you guys are gonna print a bunch of them. Be sure to check out the magazine as well, with all of the lore for the creatures. We give you guys a couple of tips on how to use them. As I said, Divergers have pack tactics, so yeah, just throw a bunch of them at your players. We have some really cool content for you guys in the magazine this month. So yeah, don't forget to check it out. And yeah, before we go, we're gonna open it up to questions. But before we even do that, I wanted to, we're gonna talk to you guys and showcase a little bit, give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek on the 3-month loyalty reward that is gonna be coming up on the first loyalty reward for the Sci-Fi subscription. That is going to be coming up on, I believe this one's going to be released on like December 16th or 17th, somewhere around there. But before we get into that, we wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things. So, when we launched Loot Sci-Fi, we had actually been planning to launch for like several months, right? And previous to that, we had the Journey to Valhalla launch. So whenever we do something like that, launch a new product, we have probably been working on it for a long time. When we launched the Sci-Fi subscription, we actually already had like the 3 first months of the subscription all planned out. Like the first couple of months were already like test printed and everything. So we kind of got into it. And it's in very much the Loot entrepreneurial spirit of, okay, let's do this and let's weather the storm. And we were very happy with the Sci-Fi launch. You guys really like it and really took to it, and we were really happy because of it. But one of the problems of planning ahead so much as we do, and is that we didn't get a chance to get feedback from you guys on the first couple of bundles. And although a lot of people loved those bundles, the Native Diplomacy bundle, for instance, and loved the direction we are going with Loot Sci-Fi. A couple of people had like some valid feedback and some criticism, and we were like, okay, like what can we do to answer that? For the first couple of months up until now, like we knew this month's bundle, Future Eternal Embrace, was gonna have a little bit more of the kind of stuff that you guys, that people think of as sci-fi, like that connect with people as sci-fi. So we were like, okay, let's wait to see how people take that next month, but let's start taking that feedback and turning it into something productive. So we are listening to you. When you guys make a community post or send us an email or make a comment in one of our videos or on like this live stream, you comment something on chat, we are paying attention and we are listening to you. And we are taking this feedback into account when designing the future bundles. I'm not gonna say anything about the fourth sci-fi bundle yet, but you guys can expect some really nice things coming. And the same can be said for January and February 2022 sci-fi bundles. We actually had a couple of conversations on how to meet your expectations better, and we came to the conclusion that we could do better, and we could improve, and we could deliver to you guys something closer to, let's say, something closer to what you guys expect, and still deliver like a really, really cool experience that we want to do, and you guys are going to really enjoy. So we actually we took the two first bundles for 2022, and we reevaluated them, and we kind of gutted both of them, and put together something really amazing that's coming as well. So we're gonna have to redesign a whole bundle, and hopefully a couple of the miniatures that we already had the concepts for and that have even already been sculpted, we're hopefully gonna be able to use them in a future bundle or something. But yeah, we are taking your feedback into account. It's just when you're in a big ship, a big cruise liner, it takes a while to be able to turn it, right? It's I think like the longest ship into the planet was a cargo ship, like the Yara Viking or something, and it took it like a couple dozen miles to be able to slow down and shift, right? Yeah. You can rest assured that Loot is listening to your feedback, and we are turning just enough that you guys are gonna be, I think you guys are gonna be amazed for the next couple of bundles that we have planned. Now, enough of that. Let's talk a little bit about our loyalty rewards, and we're gonna start off showing off the 32mm version of the loyalty reward. For the loyalty reward, we have Grigory Belov and his mecha, the Mark III Avalanche Walker. For those who don't know how our loyalty reward system works, every 3 months that you are subscribed, if you have been with us for a certain amount of time, you are entitled to a loyalty reward. So we have, and this is going to be the first one for Sci-Fi. Since we launched Sci-Fi in September, I believe, yes, mid-September, this is the third bundle, and by the end of this bundle and beginning of the next one, which is going to be around the 16th, 17th of December, we're going to have this guy for you. And our loyalty rewards come in 3 sizes. They come in 3 scales. They come in 32mm scale, they come in 75mm scale, and they come in a statue scale. So this is Grigory. Oh, let me change things here. And this guy, which is just awesome, just a little bit of I want to call it Russian punk. Let's call it that. That's being sculpted by this concept art is this one was by Alberto Saraiva as well, right, Alvaro?
Yeah.
And the sculpt is being done by our 3D team lead for the Sci-Fi bundles, Robson Barros. And this is the 32mm version. Now, the loyalty reward comes in 3 sizes, and this is another twofer that we are doing. So for starters, you guys are gonna get 2 miniatures. You're gonna get the Avalanche Walker, and you're gonna get Grigory, the pilot. But besides the standing Grigory pilot here, you are also going to get... Ooh, let me change things around here. Oh, no, not that yet. No, we're gonna build up to it. Yeah, you're gonna get Grigory piloting, which actually comes as a separate mini. Ooh, is it gonna come off here? Like it could come, yeah, it comes off as a separate miniature of Grigory. And let's try to fit him back in. Yeah, and he fits back in. Yeah, and this is Grigory inside the mech. And the little hinge actually works, which is pretty nice, pretty amazing. And this is the 32mm version. Now, we don't have all versions of this ready yet, but we do have Grigory in the 75mm version. And just so you guys can see how big the Avalanche Walker is, the 32mm version is actually taller than Grigory at 75. So yeah, they're actually over twice as, the Avalanche Walker is actually twice as tall as a regular character. And just another cool detail that we have here for you guys is that, and I'm gonna show you guys part of the 75mm Avalanche Walker. We actually have like all the pieces of the Avalanche Walker, but we haven't like glued them in together yet. We're probably gonna do like an assembly video of him of it or something. This is the 75mm version of the Avalanche Walker. And a cool detail is that the head of the Avalanche Walker comes as a separate piece. So if you want to do a separate piece with Grigory inside of it, and just like maybe the visors on the Avalanche Walker got blown up, right? So you can have, let me open it up here. This one I think is gonna open a little bit more than the final version. So you guys can really see how amazing this mini turns out. Yeah. Yeah, and this is the 75mm version, which is gonna be like really big. But we have, wait, that's not all. Isn't that how that guy goes? Wait, it's not all. We have, and I'm actually gonna change back to concept art here for a little bit, just so we can set it up. And just so you guys can have like a little bit more of a sense of scale. Let's start with the 32mm here. Ooh. Yeah, just really try to get the 32mm into 75. So transitioning. So this is the 32 millimeter. This is the 75 millimeter. And this guy is the statue scale Grigory Belov. I'm just gonna wait for the reactions in chat for a bit. Yeah, so this is some amazing work by Hobson. He's still not. We still haven't finished him. You guys are gonna notice some seams here, but that's just because we haven't like finished him and like connected him and glued him up properly. If I give him like a big push, the arms are gonna come off. Yeah, let's compare to the little one, to the 32 millimeter one. Yeah, the head of Grigory, statue of Grigory, is it's much bigger than the 32 millimeter one. Yeah, this is gonna be a really fun loyalty reward. Just some really amazing stuff. Let's turn it around a little bit so people can get a look at the bit of analog technology on his back, maybe a radio for communicating, or maybe that's the radio he uses to call his Titan, like in Titanfall, right?
It's not totally assembled.
Yeah, I've mentioned that already. Like this one is not completely assembled, so that's why we were being like very careful with this statue. Oh, okay. Can we get someone in chat, like moderating chat? There's someone we probably should kick from chat, spamming chat with weird messages. So yeah, this is Grigory Belov. I'm actually gonna do like something really dangerous here because not all the pieces are connected, and I am notoriously unlucky with letting miniatures fall and breaking stuff here at Loot. So I'm gonna ask for some help in picking this up, so I can show you guys. Let's. Here's Grigory compared to my big head. Yeah, you can actually see the statue version is really cool. I can actually see like the pores on his skin. Like this guy has been through a lot. We do a lot of work into statue versions. We take this opportunity to really bring out the detail and the textures. So yeah, it's an absolutely amazing miniature. It can almost be used like one of the, if you want to use this in like your game as it can just be a statue of Grigory Belov, the war hero, right? The Russians are kind of notorious for their gigantic statues, right? They are really good at it. So yeah, this is Grigory Belov, the statue version. So that's what we have to show to you guys today. Let's see here. Yeah, and let's just end on that glorious note, right? And I'm gonna change a little bit between Grigory here and a couple other screens, so you guys can see a little bit better what's happening. So let's change here. So first Grigory, then we have Marcia painting here, the Infantrobot, and even to the screen here. We will definitely post some pictures later on our Instagram of how the final result of Marcia's painting here. And I can already see, even at the little screen I have here, I can already see like the distressed effect. And we have here, I think Alvaro's finished with the hand grenade, right, Alvaro?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun to do stuff like this because we can upload, like, once we get a chance to put some supports in it and test print it, we can upload it to the welcome pack, so you guys can have it.
Yeah, we have been doing this with the fantasy bundle, right?
Yeah.
I already sculpted like the axe, the barrel mimic. So
Yeah, we've had
probably
like a
have
couple.
access to this grenade.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely beautiful work there. And now I think we can move on to the Q&A section. So if you guys have any questions, this would be the time to ask them. We're gonna do our best here to answer them all. But I'm also gonna go back and see it. Yeah, see if there are any questions or doubts, or just if you guys want to make any comments, we can discuss it. So yeah, let's give it a moment for chat to catch up. Ooh. We have a question for you, Alvaro, from Dario Miguel. Do you intend to make another advanced course again?
So yeah, for those who don't know me for much longer than Loot, I used it to teach 3D sculpting before we started Loot. So I had an online course, but we stopped the classes to focus only at Loot. So for now, I have no plans to release a new class. Sorry. I'm 100% focused on making Loot even better.
Yes. Joseph is asking, are we going to get more painting videos for the sci-fi pieces? So, we've been very careful not to promise the painting videos and some of the extra content for the sci-fi release, and we really want to do it, but we've run into a little bit of a painting bandwidth issue here. So we a couple of months ago, Marcia had a couple of some health issues, some back pain issues, so she couldn't paint for long, and that delayed a couple of the fantasy bundles, the painting guide, and the tutorial. And I'm not gonna promise you right now that we're gonna have them, but we are planning on having painting tutorials for the sci-fi release as well. It's just that it's a little bit of it's a little bit difficult to juggle and to get in touch with artists that are actually like near to us here in Brazil and that produce like good quality content and that can help us produce content that is up to par with what we deliver, right? Because it's not good also to like produce a video that's not going to be as good as the stuff we already release, right? So we are working towards it on making the extra content that we do for fantasy work for sci-fi as well. We're just gonna ask you guys for a little bit more patience and a little bit more time before we get things going and get everything set for that to happen. Let's see. Let's see here.
Some people are asking if we are going to do the statue scale of the mecha as
Oh
well.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with the mecha. So a couple of months ago, we announced that we changed the way we do the statue scale for the loyalty rewards. They're gonna be like 1/6 scale, and all of them are gonna be 1/6 scale, and they're gonna be made to fit on a larger print bed. So the small miniatures, like our 32 and our 75 millimeter miniatures, the smaller ones, we cut them up so they're gonna fit in like the smallest print bed on the market, right? But the loyalty rewards, the statue scale specifically, they get so big that we need to make them fit in a larger format printer, right? Something closer to like a Mono X or I think a Mighty 4K, right?
Yeah.
Printers like that have a larger print plate. Unfortunately, we ran into an issue with doing a statue version for the mecha, for the Avalanche Walker. And here's the issue: even for that larger format printer size, it would be enormous, and it would be, because he's actually over twice the size of Grigory here. So it would be gigantic, and it wouldn't. We would have to cut them up in so many pieces that it probably wouldn't be worth it. We would run into the same problems we were trying to avoid when we changed the format. So we're not going to do a statue scale for the mecha. However, we are doing a 3D printing tutorial series, right? And one of our next videos is on how to scale up miniatures for your printer. And scale up the models for your printer, for like the max size of your printers, which is something we did recently with our Lutimos statue. So we actually took our Lutimos statue, and we blew it up like the statue size to, I think was like 170%, right, Alvaro?
Yeah.
Which was like the max size that the printer was gonna take. So we did that, and we're gonna teach you how to do it as well. So you can take like the 75, because this is already gonna be quite big. So the 75 millimeter version of the Avalanche Walker is gonna be gigantic. Oh, yeah. Actually, let us show it to you guys here. Jesus, if I drop this, people are gonna kill me. So this is the Lutimos, or expanded Lutimos. So this is like 170% of the statue scale, and that is as big as it got for something like a Mono X, right? As big as it could handle the pieces. We're probably gonna we can do something similar for the. We're gonna teach you guys how to do something similar for the mecha, so you guys can really, let's. Oh Jesus! Yeah, let's show off the gigantic Lutimos here. Yeah, he's almost twice as big as Grigory, but again, the real issue with the Avalanche Walker is just how bulky it is. Like, Lutimos we have some leeway with him because he's kind of gaunt and thin, and it's a fairly humanoid-sized miniature. So yeah. Yeah, maybe we can teach you guys how to do something like this for your miniature. I think so how many pieces did we print this Lutimos in? I don't know, actually. Maybe for...
this character was actually sculpted before loot existed. It was a personal project that I used on the online course. However, this character was split like in 40 pieces maybe. It wasn't planned to be a miniature for loot. But if we start slicing our, like separating our characters in so many pieces, it gets really hard for the subscribers to print and attach all the pieces together. So
Yeah, it creates a really, let's say, unfortunate experience for people who are assembling and finishing up the piece later.
yeah,
Right? Like the more pieces you cut something like this in a statue, in a model in, the more pieces you cut, you like the more issues you can have with things like warping and stuff like that. So it's just gonna be way more work.
yeah. But as you said, we are going to do a YouTube video showing that you can print, scale up the models, keeping the original supports using the STL files. So if someone has a really big printer like the Mega 8K from the Frozen company, like with a huge build plate volume, you can still use our STL files from the Mecha and scale it up to 200% maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the compromise we had to make. But still, you guys didn't get the loyalty reward. It still includes 2 different miniatures, actually 3 if you count the pilot inside the mech, right? So it's 2 different miniatures at 3 scales. We're just not gonna have a statue scale for the mecha, but we're still gonna have a statue scale for Grigory here, which as the first loyalty reward, I think it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, you guys gotta remember, this is like the first loyalty reward for Sci-Fi, and I think we may have gotten ourselves into a corner here, because yeah, we gotta go up from here, right? We gotta go do something more awesome and more awesome. So yeah, I lift that up to Alvaro and the team. Okay, so what % increase do you need to go from 75mm to statue? From 32mm to statue scale is around 850%. So from 75, we can give you guys the proper numbers later. We probably will do so when we release the video. But it's around twice as big, right? 2.5 times as big, from 75 scale to 1/6 scale.
Oh, 4 times bigger.
Oh,
No.
4 times bigger. Oh, yeah, 4
Yeah,
times
yeah.
bigger. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, around 400%. Okay, a question for Marcia from Tyrant666. How the hell did you get white to cover a straight black base coat? That is like impossible thing to do.
Maybe because I painted more layers, and I don't know. Maybe the paint is good
What
from
grade are you?
AK Interactive.
Yeah, so good quality paint, more layers, good technique. It's not impossible then. It's just maybe it's a bit annoying. Okay, so next question here. from Rexidus. Any plans to make a set around starships like X-Wing miniature game? If by a set Rexidus you mean a bundle, so we're not gonna have, and some people sometimes ask us that, so we're not gonna have a bundle of like just starships, or a bundle of just scenery, or a bundle of just animals, right? People ask us that, especially in our fantasy subscription. We're not gonna do something like that. But you can rest assured, we're gonna have more spaceships in the future. They're gonna be more spread out throughout the bundles. We're gonna have more vehicles, and because with each bundle we have to like deliver something valuable to a bunch of different people that all want like very different things. So we can't do a very, very specific bundle. But you can rest assured, like what did we call it? I think we call it the Sky Looter, or first spaceship, was indeed our first spaceship. Hopefully the first of many. So we're gonna do more in the future. Okay, any more info? And this one's for you, Alvaro. Any more info on the painting handle for the Sci-Fi bundles?
So yeah, Tiago asks me this all the time, and as I'm really busy at the moment, I couldn't have the new handle done. But I promise you guys that it will be available really soon.
Yeah. So Alvaro has been like extremely busy lately. So besides like the stuff that's happening at Loot here in the background that we can't tell you guys about yet, but there's some exciting stuff coming up. Besides that stuff, he worked on the Halloween mini, the Jimmy Hollowhead. He's been working on a lot of stuff just to dedicate his time to Loot and to making Loot grow and be better. So like he hasn't had the time to work on the new version of the painting handle yet, but don't worry, I keep reminding him, like every week I have a conversation with him about it. So how's that thing going? So he definitely hasn't forgotten about it. It's just some other things took priority, but the painting handle is coming soon. So let's see here, what else do we have? Ship scenery like Bo hasn't had. So any plans to do ship scenery like bulkheads and hatchways in a bundle? So you can set up an encounter inside a large ship like Aliens. Yeah, like that's definitely a possibility for the future. As we said, we received a lot of feedback from you guys on what you want from the Sci-Fi bundles. And we're taking that into account, and those suggestions are always welcome. So yeah, that's always a possibility. We're in the process right now of thinking of the future bundles and what's going to go into them. So let's see. When will Leandro next models be out? Leandro Pavanelli. So Leandro Pavanelli is working in he's a team lead for the fantasy subscription, right? And he's actually working on some models that are coming out in December. I'm not gonna spoil which ones yet, but it's pretty awesome. And if you've been following his work and the stuff that he has done for Loot previously, you're gonna be really excited to see what he's working on for the future. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we're coming up to the end of it here. We have time for a couple more questions. I'm gonna, as you guys have time to like write a couple more questions down, I'm just gonna go back and see if there's anything else here. Anything that was left unanswered. Yeah, I didn't quite get your question, Dario Miguel. When will we get the statues version? I have Saul, but I only have the bundle.
15 December.
Maybe he's asking when the
Oh, the-
loyalty reward are released.
Oh, the next loyalty reward. So the next loyalty reward. So the next loyalty reward for the Sci-Fi bundle, which is going to be the first one, is going to be released with just after the release of our fourth Sci-Fi bundle. And if you have the 3 first bundles, you qualify for it, and you're gonna get it on December 16th, 17th, around that time. We always do it like we don't usually do it in the same day of the bundle release. So it's probably gonna be the day after that. So December 16th or 17th. Oh, and the next fantasy loyalty reward, the Elf Queen, is coming around on the beginning of December. Yep, I guess that's it for questions. Let's see here. Yeah, people are saying they could use the grenade as a water bottle. I don't know about that because it's with resin, it's a little bit iffy, right? To use something like that as a water bottle, but definitely like as a bottle holder, right, or as a cup holder or something like that. You can put a cup inside of it, and that could work. Yeah, I guess that's it for the questions. So yeah, Marcia is still painting. Let's see here. Let's transition into her screen here. So we will definitely post pictures of the finished piece on our social media. So you can definitely check that out later, probably either later today or tomorrow. And yeah, this is it for today, guys. It's been really fun talking to you guys, and yeah, see you guys next time. Let me actually go back here to the. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Alvaro, Marcia, do you want to say?
Thank you guys for staying here with us. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy this bundle and have fun printing and painting it. See you
So
in the next one. Bye bye.
yeah, bye. Some people have just if you don't have the Sci-Fi subscription, we have the link for it everywhere. So if you wanna buy the subscription, the link is in our Instagram stories. It's probably gonna be on chat as well in a couple of minutes. So yeah, if you don't have this bundle yet, just go ahead and grab it. It's really awesome. And if you want to get the loyalty reward, you're gonna in December, you're gonna need it anyway. So yeah, this is your chance to grab it. So this is it, guys. It's been great talking to everyone. Bye until next time. Bye.
Never forget. Bye.